Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll call the Missoula City Council meeting of April 24th, 2017 to order. If you'd please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please let the record note that all council members, with the exception of Ms. Sweeney and Ms. Armstrong, and now John Wilkins' phone, are here. We have minutes of the meeting of April 17th. Without objection, I'll stand approved. All right, and with that, we'll move on to our schedule of committee meetings. Ms. Rabine.
Okay, there's been a change since Friday. Your sneaky city clerk office added a meeting at President Marler's request. The Parks and Conservation Committee will meet this coming Wednesday, the 26th of April, from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9:15. Land Use and Planning will follow from 9:20 to 9:45. The Administration and Finance Committee will meet from 9:50 to 10:50. The Public Works Committee will meet from 10:55 to 11:55. And here's the meeting we added. There's going to be a committee of the whole after lunch from 1 o'clock until 2. All those meetings are being held right here in City Council chambers.
Thank you, Ms. Rabine. Any changes to that schedule? Seeing none, is there any public comment on items not on the agenda this evening? Wow. All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Items listed on that agenda were approved unanimously in council standing committees, and we save a little time on Monday evenings by considering these items all at once. Ms. Rabine will read the list of consent agenda items aloud so that those in the audience and those at home will know what we're considering. We'll take comment on these items before we vote. Ms. Rabine.
Thanks. There's 4 items on tonight's consent agenda. The first, as always, is to approve claims, which are the city's accounts payable in the amount of $526,316.93 for checks that are dated April 25th, 2017. That's tomorrow. Number 2 is the first reading and preliminary adoption of an ordinance for setting a public hearing on May 15th, 2017, and preliminarily adopting an ordinance amending sections 20.090.030B and E of the Missoula City Zoning Ordinance with respect to the Historic Preservation Commission membership and voting requirements and amendments to those. Number 3 is to set a public hearing on May 8th, 2017 on a resolution amending the annual appropriations for the city of Missoula, Montana set forth in fiscal year 2017 budget and capital improvement program that increases the total city budget by $12,000 for purchase of services and materials to overhaul the fire department's 2002 Pierce Saber Type 1 fire engine. And finally, number 4 is a 2-parter. The first part is the first reading and preliminary adoption of an ordinance. It's to set a public hearing on May 8th, 2017, and preliminarily adopt an ordinance to rezone property legally described in Exhibit number 8 from Riverfront Triangle Special Zoning District, which is RTSZD, to OP1, which is an open space district. That property is located in Section 21 of Township 13 North Range and 18 West, and refer that ordinance to the Land Use and Planning Committee. Just want to mention that that property is also known as the Fox Triangle for anybody who's watching and wondering where it is. And finally, the second one is a first reading and preliminary adoption on a second ordinance. This is to set a public hearing on May 8th of 2017 and preliminarily adopt an ordinance to rezone the balance of the property on the Fox Triangle rezone, plus the vacated portions of West Front Street, Owen Street, and the vacated alley right-of-way, legally described in Exhibit number 9 from Riverfront Triangle Special Zoning District, which is also called RTSZD, to CBD 4 in the Central Business District. The property is located in Section 21 of Township 13 North Range and 18 West, and referring that ordinance as well to the Land Use and Planning Committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rabine. Any questions or comments from council members this evening? Seeing none. Anyone in the audience? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote.
Okay, on the consent agenda, items number 1 through 4, Bentley votes yes. Cares votes yes. DeBari votes yes. Heddle votes yes. Hess votes yes. Jones votes yes. Marler votes yes. Sweeney is absent. Von Lossberg votes yes. West votes yes, and Wilkins votes yes. Would any of you like to change your vote? That is 10 ayes and 2 absent.
And the consent agenda is approved. I am unaware of any comments from city staff, agencies, boards, commissions, authorities, or the community forum. We'll move on to communications from the mayor. I have but one this evening, and that is the city of Missoula has done quite a bit of remarkable business with the Klaus family off of Mullen Road over the last number of years. And Mr. Klaus, Harvey, passed away now a couple of weeks ago, and we just wanted to acknowledge his passing and the great partner he and his wife have been in our efforts to grow poplars and expand our open space. And I want to thank Mr. DeBari for the gentle reminder to acknowledge Mr. Klaus's passing. He'll be missed, and if you have a chance to read his obit, that was a life well lived. Pretty remarkable man. We'll begin general comments from council members with Ms. Bentley this evening. Ms. West, Ms. Jones, Mr. Hess.
Along those lines, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the life of Sandra Perrin, who passed away last week. Known to many in Missoula as an avid gardener and to me a very compassionate individual who taught me the love of gardening at the ASUM community garden plots when I had a plot there as a student. Sandra was a prolific author and wrote a book, Organic Gardening in Cold Climates, which was an inspiration, and she'll be very well missed as well.
And Ms. Karras, Mr. Wilkins.
So I was watching the national news the other day when one of our good soldiers got the Medal of Honor. And I was watching our president put the ribbon around him and then congratulating him. Congratulating him? What did he do? Win a race to see who got the bullet first? How about, thank you for your service? There's no congratulations in that. And the Medal of Honor, most recipients say it isn't just for them, it's for all the people that was with them. This young man, paraplegic in a wheelchair, all I could see is he looked up at the president, but he didn't say anything, but he had this blank expression on his face. I thought this was just terrible. And it just really has bugged me, and that's why I had to bring it up tonight.
Ms. Marler, Mr. DeBari, Ms. Heddle, and Mr. Von Lossberg.
I just wanted to quickly recognize Ethel McDonald. I came from, before council tonight, I came from a celebration for her service over at Silver Park. Ethel served on the Open Space Advisory Committee for 15 years, I believe, since February of 2002. She's an inspiration to so many people in the community that did such good work in that committee on behalf of Open Space for this community. And she is headed off to France, I believe, on Monday to go bike, I'm sure, several thousand more miles. And I wanted to wish her well and thank her for her service on OSAC.
With that, we'll move on to committee reports, and there aren't any. We have one item of new business, that is the legislative update. You're all in possession of that. Any questions or comments as things wind down? Ms. Karras?
I emailed Jessica Miller this weekend and just wanted to share the confirmation that I received from her regarding SB 189, which passed both House and Senate and was transmitted to the governor and will revise protest provisions for special districts. If you'll remember, SB 189 would only count returned ballots as ones that were counted towards protesting special districts. So if 100 property owners were in a district and only 10 returned the letter and one of them protested, then the 10% threshold would have been met. So not very workable for city government. And we opposed it, and the bill made it to Governor Bullock's desk, and he returned it to the legislature with suggested amendments that would fix the problem. Those amendments were accepted by the Senate and have been transmitted to the House. So hopefully those changes will not go into effect. Thanks.
Anything else on the legislature? All right. Are there any additional items to be referred? Any miscellaneous communications, reports, petitions, or announcements? Seeing none of those, as always, I thank you for your service, ladies and gentlemen. We will be adjourned.